This is the In-Flight News, presented for Qantas by the 9 Television Network of Australia.
Hello and welcome to the Morning News. I'm Samantha Heathwood. Ahead in this bulletin, dramatic new developments in the sex scandal that brought down CIA chief David Petraeus. Hundreds evacuated in Italy as heavy rain causes more deadly flooding. And the wait for Twilight fans finally over. The last instalment in the series premieres in Los Angeles. But first, the successor to former CIA Director David Petraeus has been accused of inappropriate communication with one of the women at the centre of the sex scandal that cost Mr Petraeus his job. It comes as the FBI raid the home of Paula Broadwell, the woman with whom Petraeus had an affair.
This morning, the FBI probe into David Petraeus' affair appears to have also ensnared his successor in Afghanistan.
US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has praised the federal government's strengthening relationship with India during high-level talks with the Prime Minister in Perth. Ms Clinton is in the country for the annual Australia-United States ministerial meeting. Yesterday, the diplomat was welcomed to the city by Foreign Minister Bob Carr and Defence Minister Stephen Smith. John McAfee made billions of dollars developing antivirus software running on millions of computers around the world. Today, he's on the run, accused of murder and possibly facing the death penalty. It's an astrological phenomenon that has captivated millions around the globe for centuries. In just a few hours' time, parts of far north Queensland will be plunged into darkness during Australia's first solar eclipse in a decade.
Make the most of this one. It won't happen again until 2028. If you're lucky enough to be in far north Queensland, you'll experience the complete spectacular. A total solar eclipse. For a full 2 minutes starting at 6:39 a.m, the moon will black out the sun. In Sydney, we'll see almost all the big picture. The moon begins crossing the sun at 7:07 a.m. By 8:03, 68% will be eclipsed. It'll all end at 9:04 a.m. Peter Harvey, 9 News.
2 Queensland men have been charged after an alleged crime spree on the Gold Coast. Police say they first spotted the pair driving a stolen car at Surfers Paradise yesterday afternoon. The men managed to escape officers before allegedly robbing a nearby bottle shop. After evading police once again, the men crashed the car into a fence at Helensvale. A 9 News investigation has revealed an alarming spike in the number of young children in Queensland experimenting with drugs. They're risking long-term health problems by paint sniffing and doing it in full view of the public.
Out in the open, in broad daylight, children as young as 13, many in their school uniforms, skipping class to sniff paint. It looks like they're drinking from a soft drink bottle, but it's far more sinister.
A search will resume at first light for up to 3 people believed to be missing in the desert in western New South Wales. Police received a 000 call from a woman at midday yesterday who was lost about 150 kilometres northeast of Broken Hill. Reception cut out before officers could get any more information. An aerial search was able to locate a car belonging to the woman later that afternoon. Her family says she may have been travelling with 1 or 2 others. A 45-year-old Melbourne woman who vanished after leaving her home in Werribee last week has been found. Sandra Pevitt disappeared on Wednesday after telling family members she was going to the doctors. She was found at the holiday town of Anglesea on Victoria's southwest coast at around 7:30 last night. An online mega sale is about to be launched in Australia to kickstart the Christmas season. More than 100 retailers have agreed to take part in the sale, which promises huge discounts of up to 90%. Hundreds of people have celebrated the 40th anniversary of a rousing political speech given by Gough Whitlam during his 1972 election campaign. Politicians used the event to call for an end to 10-second sound bites and focus once again on the message.
Men and women of Australia.
1972, and with those 5 borrowed simple words, Gough Whitlam began a speech that many believe changed a nation.
As China prepares for a new leader, the country's incoming First Lady is undergoing a radical makeover. The successful folk singer's CDs are being removed from shops as the Communist Party tries to rebrand her from a popular entertainer to the mother of the nation. Sport now in Australia will take plenty of confidence into the second test in Adelaide following a strong finish to the opener against South Africa yesterday. The match finished in a draw after losing an entire day's play to rain, but it didn't stop Aussie captain Michael Clarke from taking it to the Proteas with the highest ever individual score at the Gabba.
Fireworks from the captain, who wanted to have a real crack at winning this test.
Coming up after the break, all the finance and weather details in Australia and around the world. Look at the international market numbers. In Australia, the All Ords closed weaker, down 65 points. Japan's Nikkei was also down. Hong Kong's Hang Seng closed lower, while Britain's FTSE 100 was up 18 points. To the US, the Dow Jones is higher, the Nasdaq down 5 points. To commodities, and the price of gold is stronger while oil is weaker. It's trading at $85 a barrel. To currency markets, and the US dollar is weaker across the board. Taking a look at the euro, it's mixed against the major currencies, buying 80 British pence, while the Aussie dollar is mixed against the majors, buying 104 US cents. Just recapping our main stories, a second sex scandal threatens to bring down the man named as a replacement for former CIA Director David Petraeus. And the flood crisis continues in Italy, killing 3 people when a damaged bridge collapsed under their car in Tuscany. Turning now to the weather forecast around the world, and starting with Australia. Cairns heading for a top of 31 with some showers about. Some rain also on the way for Brisbane and Sydney. Mostly fine in Canberra, Melbourne and Adelaide. Fine in Perth, a top of 27. 37 the top for Alice Springs, and some storms in Darwin, 34. Fine in Auckland, a top of 17. Sunny day for Wellington and Christchurch. Fine in Los Angeles, a top of 27. Fine in Dallas, and some rain in New York, 9. A mostly fine day expected in Santiago, heading for a top of 29 degrees. To Europe, some rain for London with a top of 11. Cloud in Paris and Frankfurt. Rain for Rome, a top of 21. Some storms on the way for Johannesburg, heading for a top of 24 degrees. Storms in Bangkok, Singapore and Manila, a top of 33. Cloudy in Jakarta, 33. Fine in Beijing and Shanghai. Some cloud about in Hong Kong and Tokyo, heading for a top of 16. And that's the morning news, finance and sport. I'm Samantha Heathwood. Thanks for your company. Have a great day.
This has been 9 News, brought to you by Qantas.